Howdy, paranormal people. Welcome to tonight's podcast show. How are we, everybody? Is everybody here?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good. We've got a full crew tonight. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Ghost Encounters of the Third Card podcast show, in case you didn't catch what I just said. So tonight, what we're talking about?
Vampires.
Vampires.
Ooh,
Just
vampires.
especially for you.
Oh, I saw a thing on the that vampire in London.
Highgate.
Highgate vampire. That was good.
Yeah.
What vampire in London?
It's been out for quite. It's
Oh, it's
quite
a
an
film?
old. No, it's a
No,
Is that the one
like
hangs
a
around the
documentary.
cemetery?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's quite an old thing, isn't it?
is it real?
Of course, it's been the cemetery. That's where they hang
Yeah.
out anyway. It was a bit
Oh, at Highgate Cemetery?
Yes.
Isn't that where all the posh people go?
yes, it is.
It's posh vampire. Upper class vampire.
It's quite bizarre. It's quite a bizarre story, actually, isn't it? It's because I think it was a long time ago I watched it, but I think it's something to do with the guy that did all the original research or something went a bit strange, didn't he? Started threatening people and all sorts of weirdness. It was a bit of an odd, bit of an odd story.
I've
don't
not
know.
heard of that one.
I don't know much about it. They did a bit at the Weird Weekend I went to this year about it, but none of it's sunk in, so I don't know much about that subject. Which is probably about most of the subjects we talk about. Nothing
Yeah.
sinks in.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a few good years ago when it was at its
Let's have a look, what's it
most.
say now? A tall, dark figure that glides through the cemetery, and his presence is frequently announced by a sudden drop in temperature. He has also caused clocks and watches to stop. He terrifies all animals in his vicinity, and he's been blamed for scores of dead foxes on the cemetery grounds.
Is there a documentary or anything you can about it, or
Hmm.
Oh, there's a film, Marie.
Is that?
The Curse of the Highgate Vampire,
Yeah,
2021.
I've seen
it's quite
I've
recent.
seen the documentary on, was it Netflix or somewhere like that, or it could have been Amazon. One of those streaming things. Yeah, I think was it called The Curse of the Highgate Vampire or something like that. Mm.
Yeah.
Did it say about who he supposedly was, or
Bear with. Let's have a
was
look.
it one of the
I won't go on the film.
upper classes who
that's-
were buried in there?
Let's have a look. Let's go on My London.
And talk about vampires. Was you looking for a vampire kit, weren't you?
No, I think
Nick?
Nick said that he'd like to acquire a vintage or antique vampire kit, didn't you, Nick?
Yes, I would. Yeah.
So if there's anybody out there who's got one, who
Yeah.
wants to offload it,
Please let
Preferably
us
if
know.
it's been used.
oh yeah, used one.
A
Oh,
used
there's
one.
loads. I can't read all that. This is the one you can
The
buy
vampire.
tickets and go round it now, can't you?
The Highgate Vampire. What do
Surely
you
it should be
remember of it,
free.
Nick?
You can't get in. You can't go in the Highgate Cemetery anymore.
I thought you could.
Only you have to pay for going.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You can get.
Yeah, yeah.
You can.
You have to pay to go into a cemetery.
You hadn't used to, but since all that happened, you have to now. Yeah.
Security, you have to have security.
David Baranti, I think his name was. wasn't it?
Didn't he start threatening people? The guy that did all the original research and everything. He went a bit strange, didn't he, when people were contacting and asking for?
Yeah, there was a bloke called. I can't think of his first name. His second name was Manchester.
That's right.
And
Yeah,
they accused him of this, that, and the other. Yeah,
quite an odd fellow.
but he sort of took it over, and
Yeah.
I think he faked a lot of stuff. I think, but I know there
Oh,
was a bit
so,
of a.
so
One
there's
of
no
them got sent-
vampires?
Well, yeah. They think there was.
There was or there wasn't? Who
No,
faked
there
what?
was. I don't know.
I'm sure he's been on. Was it? He went on. Was it Jonathan Ross or?
Yeah, he's
or
been on loads of stuff.
do you remember Jonathan Ross used to do that program that was like it was like on really late, and he used to have people sitting up on the other side of a desk, and he used to interview them, and they had a live audience. And I think he was quite well known back in the day.
Right.
So what do we think about vampires then?
Suckers.
They're all suckers. I think I certainly
real?
believe in energy vampires.
Oh yeah, there's loads of them about.
That's for sure. I don't know about the traditional vampires, but I do believe there's people that can suck the energy out of you.
I think there's people out there that kill people and drink the blood. But,
Yeah.
Oh, we've
but I
seen
don't
that.
think you
Yeah.
turn into a bat. And
No.
No. Do you think they just might be slightly psychotic instead?
Yeah, there's a few of them about as well.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think the myth came from somewhere, didn't it? I mean, there's vampire bats, isn't there? There is such thing as vampire bats, aren't there?
Yeah, there is.
Dracula was actually a love story, wasn't it? It wasn't actually a horror story, wasn't it?
Well,
Was it
Dracula,
originally
I
a
think,
love story?
I think Dracula was Vlad the Impaler, didn't he?
Yeah. Was, wasn't he? Good old Vlad.
Vlad the Impaler.
What was that other one?
He was a
They
quiet
made a
guy,
film
wasn't
of. What was
The
it?
Vampire Diaries.
Yeah, no, Halflinger or whatever his name is. What's his name?
Halflinger?
What was his name?
he? Halfling.
Was he a vampire?
Yeah,
He was a vampire
No.
hunter.
what was his name?
Halflinger.
No.
No,
Oh,
it
no.
sounds like
No,
that.
No,
Close, don't they?
you were on about Van Helsing.
That's
He
it.
was a vampire hunter. He wasn't a vampire.
So he believed in him.
And Blade. That he was also a vampire hunter, wasn't he?
Brad Pitt.
He was an actual vampire, wasn't he? Blade was.
I think he was.
And Buffy.
Yeah.
And Buffy, she
Buffy,
was a
yeah.
vampire slayer.
Yeah,
Yeah. So obviously they must
they
exist.
must have vampires.
Because there's all these people out killing them.
And
So
the Lost Boys, that was not
oh, yeah.
most famous.
Fright
ones, wasn't
Night.
it?
Lost Boys, yeah.
Oh my God, who was he in Fright Night? I used to love that fetty.
Was he a
The one
vampire?
that was the actual. Have you seen Fright Night?
No.
Chris. Oh, what was his name? Anyway,
There's been loads of them, haven't there? There's Tom Cruise was
Oh,
a vampire
yeah.
in one of them,
Brad
wasn't he?
Pitt,
And-
wasn't he? With
That
him?
was Interview with a Vampire.
That's right,
wasn't it?
yeah.
I think.
And Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine.
I can only imagine,
Oh,
Faye.
oh.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Certainly.
So, yeah, I don't believe that there's actual real vampires that grow fangs and, can turn people into vampires by biting their neck and blah, blah, blah.
What about werewolves?
No. No.
For God's sake.
I don't believe in them neither. No.
I believe in wolves.
You believe in them, do
The
you?
wolves, yeah.
Oh, okay. But then
The
there's
football
Weird
team.
wolves.
No.
because then of course then we go on to shapeshifters, don't we? Because a lot of them are reported that go from wolves to human beings, or
It's supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah.
If you see it, I reckon if you see a wolf, it's supposed to be like a protection thing, isn't it? In
Yeah,
the spiritual world, I think.
yeah. That's what I was told when I saw one. I saw a big one, 6 foot wolf. I saw
Oh.
black.
Where?
they are called dire wolves. They are. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
But
Where was
they're
that?
supposed to be extinct. There isn't supposed to be any of them left.
This was I did a week mediumship course at the Arthur Findlay College in Stansted Hall in Stansted. Obviously, that's where it is.
Stansted Hall in
Yeah.
Stansted.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
That.
And I stopped in their building. It's a massive building, a bit like Hogwarts. Really, the building is a fantastic place to stop. I was lying in bed, and I woke up, and there was a big black wolf sitting right next to my bed. So I just looked around the room, and there was a figure in the corner, like a figure of a man with like a cloak on and stuff.
God, that's like dog soldiers.
Well, I thought the bloke in the corner was there to protect me against the wolf.
But it was the other way around.
But yeah, when in the next morning when I told the guy who was doing the tutoring and all that kind of stuff, he said the wolves are there for protection. That's why the wolf was there, to protect you from the thing.
Wow.
I read not so long ago that if you have pet dogs, shadow people won't enter your house because they don't. Well, they won't come near you because of the dogs. So that could, cause dogs are wolves, is a typey thing, aren't they?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I have seen a video of. Anybody seen the video of that dog chasing that wolf? I think it's on one of these like paranormal caught on camera or whatever, where members of the public send footage in. And it was obviously in America somewhere. And there was a dog barking at something behind a tree, and it looks like it's jet black, and it looked like a wolf until it stood up. You actually think that it's standing up at the time, but then it stood up and sort of went for the dog, and it was ridiculously huge, like massive. And they said compared to what used to be known as a dire wolf, when it was basically a giant wolf, but they're thought to not exist anymore. So that was quite bizarre. It was huge.
I bet they exist somewhere. If they have existed, I bet they do exist somewhere. They just don't know where they are. I bet, maybe.
Could you?
Anyway, I've got a bit of
Story.
not a story, but a question, which is kind of getting relevant these days, about all these UFO and alien sightings and this the Congress thing that they've just done. Do you think the disclosure is close, or I don't think it is, but I think a lot of the conspiracy theories that we're saying, banging on about aliens and UFOs, are now saying don't believe what the government's telling you about aliens and UFOs.
Do you think though that that's because there's a certain sort of group of, if you want to call them conspiracy theorists, that just want to go against whatever the government is saying? No, so that they're saying there's this, and this, and then when the government go, well, actually there is, they go, no, they're lying. They're only saying that because we.
If the government have said something, it's a lie, isn't it? Really, you should believe the opposite.
I'm in that camp. I think what you just said.
But how can you do that, Nick? How can you insist on something as real until the government agree with you, and then all of a sudden do about tail and go, no, it's not, because you've just said it is. It's not now. You know what I mean?
No, I still believe in it. I just don't believe the narrative that the government is saying.
And they admitted that they've had crafts and aliens at Area 51 now. They've admitted that.
Well, they didn't call them aliens. They called them
pilots.
Unhuman. Not human.
Non-human.
Non-human remains.
So they've admitted that now.
Well, yeah. So it's all a bit
so just explain to me what exactly this is. Is it some sort of? What is it? Is it some sort of meeting that people that are coming out from the military are saying what they believed in? What is it
Not
actually
just
that's going on?
There was other people.
Yeah, there's loads of other people. I'm not dead clued up on it, but it's.
There is a guy that stood there and said that he will testify in front of any government and anything. Whether they question him, he will testify that what he saw and what he knows is correct.
But what I'm trying to ask is, where is it, and what's the reason behind all of these people standing up now? What is it? What's going on?
Yeah, well, that's what.
Is it a group or what?
No,
what is it?
There's a lot of individuals, but I don't know.
It's just fishy, and it's just strange that it's all been agreed upon now. Whereas for all these years, you've been called mad if you saw an alien or believed in aliens, or you've seen a spaceship, or you've seen a UFO. You're not.
Well, maybe
all of a sudden.
Well, it hasn't. It's not really all of a sudden, is it? How many years have people been saying?
No, I'm on about all of a sudden. The government are agreeing.
Well, maybe they've got to the point. Maybe they've got to the point where they're saying we can't hide this anymore. Well, there's so much coming out.
If this treaty thing was true, that Eisenhower and whatever signed, then they're probably shitting themselves because they're coming back for I think we'll have our Earth back, please.
Yeah.
Or we'll come and show ourselves whether you like it or not.
That's the bit I don't agree with. I think if the government come out and say they're a threat and we've got to do this, that, and the other to stop it, that's the agenda what they're trying to do. That's what I don't like about it, and I believe that could be the case.
Those people that stood up, though, that were on those videos, sort of said, they were asked the question, weren't they? Did they feel threatened at any time?
Yeah.
Most of them said no. And the thing that they didn't like was the fact that they disarmed, they sort of disarmed them, didn't they?
Yeah.
So to prove the alien craft that was hovering alongside them and managed to disarm the weapons so that they wouldn't have been able to fire anyway. But like the guy said, if they'd have wanted us down, they'd have just done it, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
But do you think that they could be like humans? There's some that aren't nice, and there's some that are nice.
Well, apparently so. There is. There's a mixture and match.
Yeah, like any race,
Yeah.
I suppose. So,
But the problem is, it's finding the correct information. Same as everything else, isn't it?
Yeah, that is.
Are these people that are putting these videos, putting them out on purpose?
Well,
Are they being told to do that?
I don't
on
think
purpose?
if the government or the agencies that are who have protected this information for so long, I don't think that if they didn't want this information coming out the way it is, I don't think it'd be coming out. They'd have been assassinated, or which we've seen in the past, people going missing.
Yeah, the minute they open the mouth, they've gone missing, haven't they?
So there's a reason why they've been allowed to.
And is it to do with the
Congress.
Conspiracy of Project Bluebeam?
Probably. Oh yeah,
That's
I
the
would
other
say
one.
so. I would say
So they cause fear. So if you do see anything, everyone's going to be full of fear.
Yeah. Just like the last few years have been. Yeah. I don't think they've got everybody, have they, over the last few years?
No.
I mean, if you think about what you've just said, Nick, about if the government didn't want it to come out like it's coming out, it wouldn't have come out because obviously that's the government.
No, but I think it's higher than the government.
So if that's the case, then how do we ever find out anything? If the government are that way inclined and they're so powerful that if they didn't want something known, you wouldn't know it. How do you know about all these Project Bluebeams, and how do you ever know about them if that was the case?
I don't know.
You declog your third eye, Marie. Right.
Declog it.
You
Give it a
decalcify
wipe
it.
out.
You give it a wipe out. Right.
Drano. Nice bit of Drano in there.
Get down to your meditation
When
and you find your information out.
when you get
Wash
the,
your eye out.
when you get the fluid for the toilet in the
Get your bog brush in it.
give it a good sniff. Clean your third eye. Yes. We've had a bit of a blockage in the old toilet at the old nuke.
The old nuke.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Someone's flushed a baby's
clogged
arm
nuke.
down and we're stuck.
And we've also had a nice meditation session this evening, haven't we? Before we podcasted.
And you
So-
go. Oh, you've got to tell us about your ghost hunt.
Well, there's not really an awful lot to tell, to be fair.
Was it
We
a
did-
nice introduction back into it?
Yeah, it was the first event that we've done for a long time. And we didn't have a great deal of activity, did we? It was a little flat, but that's how it goes.
There was some, wasn't there? There was some activity.
There was a little bit going on, but the main thing I think is the guests enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's with us. It's always an authentic investigation. You know, we've always said we don't fake. We don't. Well, if we could fake it, and then we could guarantee activity every single event we did. But
I think
unfortunately,
the people that picked up something have gone away with a bit of evidence that they're happy with, haven't they?
yes,
I
yeah.
had a couple of the dowsing group in the dowsing group. As you know, when I dropped my phone on the floor and woke everybody up from the meditation.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
So for the listeners, what happened was we were doing a meditation with music. It was quite a long meditation, about 8 minutes. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I thought, well, the 8 minutes has passed and we're going back into it. It's
Kind of looped around again,
around.
didn't it?
And I thought, oh, going to be here for another 8
Yeah.
minutes. And some people just don't want to. Everyone give it a go, but people don't want to be there for
Half an hour.
Yeah, just going in a loop. So I picked my phone up, and as I picked it up, I caught my arm on the chair and dropped it on the floor. Made a bang. Everybody would come out of meditation because it was loud.
That's how everybody was brought out of meditation, by a phone being dropped on the floor. It was a bit of a...
Yeah, but I thought I'd broke it because I heard something else drop at the same time. So I picked my phone up and I looked on the floor, and there was a penny on the floor.
Oh, pennies from heaven.
Yeah, well, I picked the penny up, looked at the date, and just put it back on the side. And then about half an hour later, we was in the next room to there, and we were doing dowsing. One of the guests got some information through on the dowsing boards, which related to another guest. And long story short, it turned out she went back to this date, and she worked out all the dates from her date of when some relation of hers passed, and it was 1996 they passed. And so I said, just hang on a minute, and got the penny and gave it to her, and she was like really shocked. She says, my granddad always used to find pennies on the floor, so she was quite happy with
Is
that.
that what we
Dates as
call a
well.
synchronicity?
I think so. Right there, folks.
We should do a show on it.
When we couldn't explain them, that is one.
Yeah.
We should do a show on synchronicity.
Again.
Proper synchronicity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a coincidence, a synchronicity.
Synchronicity.
We did do one on synchronicity, but it was that rubbish we just didn't put it out.
we all experience them every week, but we couldn't explain anything
No.
to you. But that's,
We know,
that's a good one.
we understand what they are, don't we? So, yeah. So I think we had a good night, and the guests had a good night. I think the guests must have had a good night because we've had some of the same guests that booked on another one, so at a different place, come with us.
Yeah.
So,
It was just a bit quiet, wasn't it? It was.
yeah. But that's how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's you can't believe how mental it is, and you know. Unfortunately, I do always feel a bit bad at the end of the night when not a lot's happened, because I think, you know, I wonder if the guests go away feeling disappointed. But we spoke to them all, and you know, and I think they all understood that that's how it goes.
Good.
And yeah, so that was our
It was alright, wasn't it?
yeah.
I enjoyed it.
And I think we've got at least one a month now,
We have, yeah.
up until next year,
We haven't
haven't
got one
we?
this month, but we have got September,
September.
October, November, December.
Yeah,
We have,
yeah.
9th. There's only spaces on that one. 9th
9th
of September.
There's 3 left, the 9th of September. And
Where's that one?
That's Gresley Hall.
Gresley Old.
in
Gresley Old Hall,
Swanwick
yeah.
Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if you want a ticket for that, there's only 3 left.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bog, you can get one.
But you do need to make sure that you get your own transport, because we don't want you book up and think that we've got to give you a lift because we.
No,
We haven't
we
got
don't take
space
you
for
there
that.
as well.
I
no.
can only get one person and myself on my rally chopper. So
I'm just.
Ooh, a backy.
we're back in the chopper.
Yeah. And no one wants to get on an e-scooter with me. There's just no room.
Anyway, vampires.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
this is what we do. This is what happens, isn't it?
Vampires.
So then, Nick, you were after a vampire kit.
Yes. It's just for show, isn't it, really? I mean, I've got a model of it there. What's it there? An alien? Well, I can't get a real one, can I?
Oh, well, you might do soon, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, what we're trying to do is fill the nuke up with a load of...
Might get one on the podcast, you
No,
never
no,
know.
yeah. With a lot of mysterious stuff, aren't we? Some,
Yeah.
curiosities.
That's exactly it.
Curiosities.
Nick. I have a curiosity cupboard, I would say.
Yes.
It's got everything from antique Bibles to Asian two-faced dolls, and what have we got? Victorian handmade puppets, rosary beads from the Vatican. We've got all sorts, and the latest edition, which I don't think you've seen yet, Nick, is a vintage Last Rites kit.
Oh, okay.
So Yeah.
And a
Just-
scary little shoe. We've got a scary little shoe.
Oh, we've got an antique leather child's boot.
I'm just having a look here now.
Yeah.
And we've got a couple of teddies.
Do you use these when you're doing anything here? Do you
Can do.
you
We
use
could,
them?
We could use them as a trigger object if we wanted to.
I think William needs
We've
to come
got-
out again because
We've got a
he was quite
a
vocal,
spell,
wasn't he?
haven't we, in a box?
Yeah.
That we
messed
don't
around
know.
with.
We don't know how old that is, but yeah, we've got some sort of
Maybe you use
spell
that.
and
You use that in your house, so didn't you?
I opened it in the house and
Stuck
stirred
a
it round
finger
with
in
my
it and
finger.
everything.
Yeah.
It's,
It's in your house now. Then.
For those that didn't know about this, we mentioned it once on the podcast. I mean, it's a bit like a Dibbit box, but it isn't a Dibbit box. But it looked like it was sealed with wax, like the Dibbit box is. But this is just a wooden container, and it was all sealed. So that tells you something in the beginning. Said Marie brought it home. I don't know, did you get a knife on it? It says in this one,
Prized it
Yeah, well, you
open.
would.
Prize it's
Anybody
open.
would, wouldn't they?
Then inside it's
She wanted a root round, see what was
messing
in there.
around with it inside. So if anything bad was in it, at least it isn't here at the new.
Well,
She's
we've had
fingered it.
we've had a couple of people look at it who know what they're talking about, and because of the kind of contents that are in there, they've said that it looks like some sort of earth spell, and it wasn't
It is,
nothing
yeah.
bad or. So we're okay. We're
Yeah.
okay.
Well, you're
with
still
that.
here, Marie.
I'm still here.
Still here,
So yeah, we're okay. So if anybody's got anything weird and wonderful like that they'd like a home for,
We'll have it.
let us know.
Yes, we'll have it. We've got
We're
it,
happy to take all the weird and wonderful things
We're
in.
just in the process now. We need a new one.
We need another cupboard
cabinet.
of some sort, a display unit.
That one's full.
Yeah.
To be taken
It's a
in.
problem. I think I've
We'll
got a
we'll
problem.
have to give a shout out to Damon because when we was at Paralysis at the weekend, he's chucked his cabinets in the back garden.
What?
Oh, the square glass ones.
Why?
Yeah.
They're a bit big for us,
Yeah,
aren't they? They are.
Yeah, I just want. I'd
Has
like
he not got
something
nothing
like
there
this.
now? Damon.
I'd like something like that, but
But
a bit
half the
smaller.
size,
Yeah, a bit
probably.
smaller. Yeah.
Yeah, half the size. That'd be good. Well, so
Anyway, vampires.
What about them?
Bloody hell, how many times is this now?
Vampires suck, I've told you.
what do you think about them, Faye? What do you think about vampires? Do you think that, do you think that there's an element of truth to it?
I
that
think there's a little element of truth to it.
What?
I mean,
In what respect? What do you believe? What do you think?
I don't know. Can you ask me next week when I've Googled?
Don't have to Google for your own opinion, do you?
Well, it's got to be where would it have? There's got to be an element of truth in something. Where would they have got the term vampire from? Do you know what I mean?
I think all
I know
myths and
Dracula was-
legends and stuff start from something. Even if they're exaggerated over
I
the
don't know
years,
about
they
modern
start
day. You
from
don't really hear
something.
about
I
it
mean,
now,
they
though, do
found
you?
graves, haven't they, with stuff like the heads have been taken off. and
Yeah.
Really?
buried
Inside the
backwards.
graves?
Yeah, the skeletons and with a rock in the mouth and stuff like that. With a stake.
Why is
through-
there a rock
with
in the mouth?
I think to stop
With a
the
stake
fangs from being able to come out or something.
Oh.
I think if I'm right in saying that the body is lying in the coffin with a stake through,
Yeah.
where the heart would be.
And they've literally found
And the
these.
head has been decapitated and turned upside down,
Dear
So it can't
Lord.
With-
reconnect.
so it can't reconnect with a rock in its mouth or something like that.
You think they
So
found
then there
feet,
must be
wouldn't
some truth in it then,
So
surely.
the
By the feet,
belief,
yeah.
so the belief at least at some point was very, very strong.
Oh yeah, yeah.
you? Yeah.
But then again, it can we compare that to the witch trials and stuff? People burning people because they thought they were witches.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
it the same thing? People did that to people because they thought they were a vampire. For what reason? I don't know.
Got these pop stars and that now, aren't they? They're admitted drinking one another's blood and things, haven't
Oh,
they?
yeah,
Well, that is that. I mean, I don't. You don't know what goes on, do you?
A lot of it's that adrenochrome, isn't it? That kind of stuff.
Nick.
Some people just haven't got enough do, have they? Do you know what I mean?
No.
Don't get proper jobs, don't they?
It was a
Wouldn't have
motorbone,
time.
Marie. It's not my stomach.
Right, I wondered what that was then.
Wouldn't have time for all this nonsense, would they?
No.
Jobs.
No. How do they have time for it?
Can't I fit it in?
No.
So-
Can't even get a good cup of tea at my place, so we've got no chance of getting a pint of blood.
Oh, right. Oh, dear.
You wouldn't want a pint of blood at your place, though, would you, Nick?
No, not really.
Let's be honest.
No. Not really.
So, like I say, vampires to me, it's come from somewhere. The legend started from somewhere. I'm sure something's happened at one point.
Went to talk on it, didn't we?
Yeah. But again, like I just said earlier, I don't take anything in.
No, I'm saying, yeah.
I'll go for
So really, we should be able to sit here now and tell you everything about vampires, but unfortunately,
You can't.
we can't.
I'm pretty sure that they used, when the stakes, I'm pretty sure he said that the stakes were used to nail them to the coffin so they couldn't get out, not to actually kill them before they put them in the coffin, I think.
Oh, right, okay.
You know.
Because in the films and stuff, they use them to, like a wooden stake through the heart is how you
Yeah.
kill a
And they also
vampire,
said
isn't it?
about, what did he say about putting something around the grave, all spaced out? I can't remember. It was a really good fact, actually, and I can't remember.
It was that good, you can't remember
No,
it.
but it was.
It'd be a bit like the salt situation, wouldn't it?
Salt
Spoons.
as well, yeah, so that they can't get out, but they did something, didn't they, around the vampire's grave?
Yeah. It might have been stone. It might have been stones.
Yeah.
The same reason as the salt, because they're saying if you've got like an evil entity come in your house, that they've got to remove each and every grain of salt before they can come in. That's why they use salt, and that's why there's obviously so much of it. So they have to remove it before they can come in. And I think it was the same with vampires. Maybe
Yeah, I think it
why they
was
put
something
rocks,
like that.
put rocks on the top of them or something.
Yeah, I think
Maybe.
so. They have to remove every one by one grain of salt, so that's why.
I've used salt and doorways and windows before. Not table salt.
What proper Celtic sea salt?
Like-
Is posh, the posh,
Like
posh
Saxo.
salt.
pink Himalayan salt.
Yeah. Saxo.
No, black salt. I always use black salt
Yeah.
and grind it
Yeah.
like that. See the action I was
Yeah,
using
see,
then.
yeah. You see that, folks back
Yeah.
home?
Talking with my hands again. Yeah, no, I always use black salt and grind it up. It stinks. Black salt does,
Do you
yeah.
ever get mixed up with pepper?
No.
Because there was just like blackness everywhere.
No.
wasn't it?
Listen at this. I'm cheating because I'm having a little Google
Go
here
on, then.
while you're talking. A person may become a vampire in a variety of ways.
Right.
The most common of which is to be bitten, obviously. The other methods include sorcery, committing suicide, contagion, or having a cat jump over a person's corpse.
Ooh.
A cat?
A cat.
Oh.
Yeah. Some people believe that babies born with teeth, or on Christmas, or between Christmas and Epiphany,
By
were
the-
predisposed to becoming vampires.
By the look on Nick's face, you're winning him over.
Wow, what did I do?
No, when you're talking about the cat jumping
About
over
the
the
cat.
corpse.
It was nothing about you. It was just what you were saying.
About
That's
a
all.
cat jumping over a corpse.
Because I've got a
They
cat.
come
I'm
up
just going to have to
vampire.
make sure she'd done a jump over me if I die in bed or something.
Don't let your cat jump on anybody's corpse.
No, why is that?
If
There's
you
a
pop
word for that, isn't there?
If you
Yeah.
pop your clogs at home, Nick,
I don't know.
tell the missus keep the cat
keep
out
a
the
cat
way.
away.
How strange.
Yeah.
That's
There you go.
vampires for you.
I didn't know that. I thought you just got to be bitten.
Well, you would think
I
that,
didn't
wouldn't you?
realise
Yeah.
sorcery and suicide, contagion. Oh, there you go then. Yeah.
Depends how-
Sorry, I was
It
just
depends how you
Googling.
get.
Put me little two-penny thing.
It depends how you commit suicide, surely.
It doesn't tell you that. It doesn't go into detail. It just says
'Cause if you-
committing suicide.
Because if you stand in front of a train and your body bits are everywhere, then how do you get back together? That's the whole reason of when they put vampires in the coffins. As we just said, you take the head off and turn it upside down so it can't reattach.
Well, I'm sure on the Vampire Diaries,
Oh, I don't know.
to be turned into a vampire,
Twilight.
you have to be bitten and die. and then
Okay.
you sort of come back to life as a vampire.
Okay.
Oh, that's all right.
So, research from the 20th and 21st centuries has posited that characteristics associated with vampires can be traced back to certain diseases such as tuberculosis, rabies.
Cough up
Rabies, yeah.
Is it pellagra? Porphyria? What's that like? Wait a minute. What's that?
Something with the blood.
Oh, iron. Yeah, red.
Iron deficiency.
Containing pigment. Yeah.
So it's all blood related.
And rabies.
Is that blood related? I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rabies.
What about snake bites? That's not there.
Cider and lager.
Oh, I could just do one of them. Yeah, so, yeah,
Cool.
there we go.
Yeah. So that's vampires then.
That's vampires for you.
Vampires.
That's it, that's all we know.
We don't know what they are.
No.
Someone else
I've
we
never
don't know
met
anything
one.
about.
Only an energy
you might
vampire.
have done. How do you
Energy
know?
vampires. We've met many of those.
Oh,
They
yeah,
are real.
definitely, Yeah, definitely real.
Yeah.
I know one very well.
We know more than one.
Yeah, not good. Stay away from them.
And you do, so joking aside, you do feel
Bad
mentally drained when you've spent time around them.
Yeah.
That's what I call when you've spent time with someone and you go home and you feel like somebody sucked the life out of you. That's then what I call an energy vampire.
And you don't even have to be in the same room, do you? Because the likes of a telephone, if it's called or someone phones you up,
Absolutely.
having a moan at you about something, and then you put the phone down and you think, Jesus, that's drained me.
Yeah.
No.
And then they're all happy at that place.
Because they've
I'm glad-
offloaded.
I'm glad I've called Marie. She's made she
yeah, yeah.
and you're there. Oh my God.
And I think this is a conversation we've had previously, isn't it, when we've said spending time in the company of others with certain energies around them can massively affect you. So you spend time around someone that's always low and down and woe is me and oh, life's rubbish all the time, then, you know, it doesn't take long before you're feeling the same, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you spend time around people who are up and happy and positive and...
I don't know any of them.
What about me?
Positive.
But it makes you want to spend more time with that
Yeah.
person because it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
So
And not just
it-
that, a lot of millionaires say you've got to hang around with other millionaires to, you know.
Money
to-
attracts money.
Excuse me.
So you've got to pretend you've got money and then you'll attract money. Hey, yeah, let's go on to manifestations.
Well, also, I think we find as well, don't we, that when we spend a lot of time with like-minded people like ourselves, that, you know, when we do meditation and we pick up on things, when we do it together, we pick up on more, because I think you can feed off, tap into other people's energies, can't you? So,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. So, are you making a unicorn? Faye?
Sorry, no, I need another sweetie.
I thought you were
Yeah.
cleaning the groove out.
Cleaning your crack here.
I know,
And that's what you should have used that on Monday. And that's what happens on. Oh dear.
Yeah?
Oh,
That's what happens on the ghost hunt as well. Isn't it? When you get somebody negative, it can actually ruin the whole
yeah.
Yes.
night.
Yeah. Or there's somebody closed as well. Somebody completely
Yeah.
closed off. That can alter.
I think you've told us
yeah,
that
but why
before,
did they go
haven't
on a ghost hunt?
I told you that
Doing them
before, haven't I?
closed off.
When we were doing
Why
the
go?
Lion and Swan in Congleton. We're all down the basement. Thought this isn't working. And this one woman says, well, that could be me. She says, what do you mean?
Oh, we
She
had
says,
a
well,
story
I've been
like
told.
that, Marie.
I've been told that I block all energy coming through. And I'm thinking, well, why have you paid money to come on a ghost hunt with other people?
We are tell him about our little story.
Is this the
Marie.
one where we were having nothing happen and I just said, I don't know what made me think, I was just like, randomly, has anybody got any any kind of crystals
Oh,
or
yeah,
salt
yeah.
or anything like that.
2
and
bags.
this
Two
person was
bags.
just
Come on in,
like,
you've got a pocket.
just like, it's like, you know, emptying a load of. Oh, I've got some sort of. What was that for? Well, it was for
Oh,
protect
man
me.
alive.
Protect you.
Rabbit's
You
foot comes
know.
off.
Rub
doesn't it?
rabbit's foot,
Dear
Yeah,
crucifix, everything.
Holy water.
Yeah, holy
The
water.
lot.
yeah. And then nothing's
Black
happening.
salt.
Nothing's happening. Why is that then?
Wonder why.
I wonder why nothing's happening. So yeah, I'll go on a ghost hunt because I really want to experience some paranormal activity. But I'll go with my crystals in my bra and my salt in my pocket, and
So nothing
you know,
happens.
so so nothing happens.
Thanks
Yeah.
for that.
So yeah, so that's this week's nonsense.
Nonsense. That's what
Shall
it
we have a
is.
proper one next time?
Proper one.
Shall we like
Be prepared.
Yes, we
be
will.
professional and
Well,
like
we have
read
got
up
one
on
coming haven't
things?
we? What's the next one going to be?
No, it's pointless to
Oh,
say,
okay.
isn't
So
it? What?
in a couple of weeks' time.
What are you on about?
Mark.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so in a couple of weeks' time, we've got Mark O'Donoghue coming back in, who's already done a couple of podcasts with us, didn't he? So
Yeah.
a while back. He's hypnotherapist. I'm sure that's not his total title. I'll get in trouble for just calling him a hypnotherapist, psychotherapist. And anyway, Mark's very kindly going to come back in, and he's going to do
A regression session.
past life
Regression.
regression
Marie's-
session.
Marie's getting an
Uh,
apple.
twice now, yeah. I don't think we're not going to broadcast the actual regression. I don't think. But what we will do then is we'll record the podcast of our experiences and what sort of past lives we each experienced. So really looking forward to that. That will be an interesting one. So yeah, that's in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah.
Cool.
That's it. So, and also we will do another questions one soon. I know they're building up, so we will answer some of your questions soon, but keep them coming in.
And we'll do a proper one as well, won't we? In between, we'll do a proper one.
Yeah, we can do
They're
proper
all proper, Faye. We might lose some listeners if we start getting too professional.
All right then. Next time we'll come with some information.
That's better.
Don't we?
Yeah. Maybe
Hey,
we'll know what we're
that we've
talking
read up
about.
on.
We've never told you not bring it with you.
Yeah, but you never tell us a topic, do you? Let's
Yeah,
get
we've
it
got one.
right.
Hang on,
One
there's
thing
4
at a
of us
time.
here.
One thing at a time. We can't give you a topic. and
I don't know what day it is. Never mind, pick a subject.
We don't like know what we're talking about, do we?
I do.
You do perfectly well without it.
Because then you fire me
Perfectly.
a question and I look a complete...
no, we're
Idiot.
nasty.
You
So
don't-
only your personal experience.
Yeah,
I don't have many
You-
personal
No,
experience.
you view then. You view it.
the thing about this, most of the stuff that we talk about is just what you think or what you believe. It's nothing to do with facts or what you've got to get right. There's no right or wrong answer to it.
Yeah,
It's
any
just-
paranormal anyway.
No, absolutely not. It's just how you feel about something, what you think, what your beliefs are, and that's it. So
Yeah.
there's
So
no
what-
right
so
or
what
wrong.
you're saying is
or
you just want let us know what somebody else believes.
Well, no, not
Off
really.
Google. That's what I do if we're doing a subject. Google it. That's how I started out doing all this. So I'm like reading books, isn't it? You
Yes,
don't learn
absolutely,
anything on
yeah.
your own. You
no,
either
you have to.
Google,
You have
watch,
to
read.
Well, you
Listen to.
watch things.
It's like
and
this podcast. Nobody learns anything from this podcast. do they?
No.
I don't know.
It's like when you're in a pub and you hear someone in the next table talking like you're earwigging on, and that's what we're on.
That's what we're like here, yeah. Minus the alcohol.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to get some alcohol won't we, another time.
I'm not
Pissed up.
sure how well that'll go.
Best up podcast.
I'm going to have to climb down off the fence, aren't I, one of these weeks?
No,
I'm
if
always
that's
sat on the
yeah,
fence.
but if that's you, that's you.
I
That's
tell you what. Did you notice just get off those. I watched a film last night that everybody in the world's seen before me, and it was The Pope's Exorcist.
I haven't seen it yet. At all. Don't spoil it.
Did you see the map they had?
Don't go there.
Did you? Did you
Is
see
it flat Earth?
I'm not.
Was it flat Earth?
Yeah.
Say, why did you say those
Telling you.
words?
Telling you.
Yeah.
Making it known.
In your face.
I read an article the other day. See, I never want to talk about this, and you always drag me in it.
Go on, Louis.
I read an article the other day. Right, so just for the listeners that don't know, Nick, obviously by now you know he believes that the Earth is flat.
Not this Nick.
Not that Nick, the other Nick.
Get in there now again.
But
keep
he
chipping away.
also, as well, goes to the stones. What are they called?
Stonehenge.
Stonehenge for the summer. It's the summer one, isn't
Yeah,
it? The
the
summer
summer solstice.
solstice. And I read, and I will find it. Don't ask me to repeat it because there was a lot of sort of jargon in there that I wouldn't be able to remember. That said that a flat earther cannot believe in the solstice.
Why?
Why?
See, I knew you were going to say why.
Listen,
because
don't come with that, Louis.
it explained. I will find
Back it up.
I will find it, and I will either read it out to you on another podcast, or I'll just send it to you to read. Explain something about how the Earth has a globe on the axis and how it turns, and how all the different seasons, and how it explained why, if you believe the Earth was flat, you could not believe in a summer solstice or a winter solstice or whatever.
Probably talking
And a-
procession.
Nick, I have no idea. But I just obviously
Did you understand
Thought of-
it? Did you know what it meant?
some sort of made me go, oh yeah. But there's a lot. It's a lot of scientific jargon. Some of it was understandable.
See, they like
Some of it
baffling
was
you
a
with
bit.
that so that it completely throws you off.
But yeah, I will send it to you, and then you'll have to let us know what you think, and
Yeah. Yeah, fine. It's not-
or you can just say, yeah, I don't believe in that.
But I did
And that's
notice
it.
that map.
And that's
it.
I did notice that map. I laughed my head off when I saw it.
Nick, you need to shut your mouth.
You reckon? And I just thought, and that's coming from the Vatican.
The Vatican, yeah,
You know.
yeah.
There's a lot of information with the Vatican and flat Earth, isn't there?
Yeah, they got the Vatican telescopes called Lucifer.
I think the Vatican is just so interesting and intriguing, and they've got miles of tunnels underneath, haven't they, with stuff in, and and scrolls and
Missing
artifacts
people.
and
Missing people.
It's just strange.
it's a really interesting.
And the classed as like their own country, aren't they? The Vatican.
The Vatican is it?
So-
Yeah.
Own
So-
currency.
Yeah.
All that gold.
So is
All them poor people,
the City of
homeless
London.
and
The
everything.
City of London is exactly the same, and Washington is exactly the same.
City
They've
of
got
London into country, though, is it?
It's
No,
its
but
own
it's
country.
classed as its own.
Its own.
It's got
yeah.
it's got its own rules, like its own country. It's like a square mile.
But only the centre, the
Yeah,
city,
yeah.
the
Not
centre
the
of
whole-
London.
Not the whole.
No, the City of
just
London,
The City
yeah,
of
yeah.
London, yeah.
Yeah, I know the Vatican City. They've got their own police force, haven't they? They're
City of London
completely
now.
separate,
Exactly the
and
same.
they have their own. Do they have their own currency?
Yeah.
London, no,
Lon-
will they?
London won't have that. Will they have their different currency? But yeah, I'm sure Vatican City have. Yeah, it's known as it's very. I find it very, and that's why I went to visit, and we went and stayed there, because I just find it really intriguing. I find it very
Everything you
interesting.
bring is religious.
Do you know what, Nick? I have no idea why that is. I'm not a religious person.
Oh,
I don't
obviously you are,
go.
aren't you?
Well, I didn't think I was. I don't go to church. I don't consider myself a religious person.
Jesus didn't go to church.
But I'm always drawn to religious artifacts.
Yeah, Jesus wasn't a Christian either.
He was a Jew.
God's sake. Oh dear. So I don't know, but yeah, I do have a lot of Bibles and
I love a Bible.
crucifixes, and yeah, I am drawn to a lot of to religious artifacts. I don't know why. Don't know.
Don't know.
Maybe we'll find out why when we do the past life regression.
Yes.
Maybe.
Marie was a nun.
None.
Mary. I've always called her Mary.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll
God.
find out why we have some of the traits that we have, or some of the interests that we have.
I'm a bit worried. Is he videoing it?
You look a bit like Jesus' mum.
As old as Jesus' mum.
Just for the record, last week we did a bit of scrying in these mirrors. Apparently, Marie looked like an old hag. Nick said,
I didn't say an
and
old
I look
hag.
like a pig.
I didn't say an old hag. I said she just looks old.
I think you said an old
No,
hag
it was you
face.
said that actually, Marie.
Look at
That's
his
bad.
face. And you look like a what?
pig?
Yeah.
But didn't you say?
See
What
how he
did you
didn't
say?
defend himself then, Marie?
No, but what did you say earlier on about a pig? What did you say?
Oh, he said I look like a pig, and then
No,
I
no,
said,
what did you
I
say?
said that I'm year of the pig.
Year of the pig. That's right.
Chinese.
Is that
so
the year that
of
you're
the pig.
born?
Yes.
A pickle.
I don't know. I don't know what I am. Do you know what you are?
I haven't got a clue. Probably
Do you know what you are?
Yeah, I am.
don't know.
mate. I think I'm.
He's only seen me eating every week.
tiger. I think. Tiger.
Pig.
Are you? So what do you do? So you just put the year that you were born in, and then everybody
What-
that's born in that year is the
It
same, are
goes on
they?
dates
But
as
they
well,
got
though,
some-
do it?
they're not like
17th or
constellations.
19th or 21st.
Oh,
and all
does
of that.
it? It
Yeah,
goes on
you have to go
dates
into
as
it.
well?
Yeah.
Yeah. It goes
Okay.
in.
Yeah, there's-
Because
yeah.
you've got some weird ones, haven't they? Like you, the rat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're not like a constellation
Rooster.
like the crab and.
Ox.
Oh, right. So they're just
Yeah.
all really weird animals. What are you, Nick?
I'm going to have a look now.
What year were you born, Marie?
I'd rather not say on air, Faye.
1950 what?
Year of the metal dog.
Give it.
There's no metal dog in it.
Mental.
Mental
dog.
That says.
Metal. It's like a scene from Black Mirror.
Metal dog.
I've
Mental
never
dog.
heard of metal
When's your
dog.
birthday?
She won't
What
tell
month?
you. She won't tell you.
April. You're saying man.
April the 1st.
I don't know why. I don't
Yeah,
know
but
why
you
I
gotta give the
mouthed.
year.
I don't know why I mouthed
No,
that for then
no.
you repeat it out loud.
Oh, I didn't
put-
say
you know
the
what I
year,
mean?
did I?
Put your year
That's-
in as
yeah,
well,
that year's
Marie.
not right. Oh, it is. No, it is. Yeah,
Are you a mental dog as well?
metal dog. I've never heard of a metal dog.
Well, there you go.
Are you both metal dogs?
Metal
Yeah,
dogs.
metal dogs. How
Okay.
bizarre.
K9 off Doctor Who was a metal dog.
Was it?
Yeah, but he was a real metal dog, wasn't he? He actually was a metal dog.
K9.
Ah, how bizarre.
You're not a year younger than me. Older than me.
Yes, I am.
You're 2,
Oh.
aren't you?
How rude.
Yeah. You were
Anyway,
2
we'll
years
wrap
above
this
me at
up. We'll have
school.
this conversation afterwards, shall we? So anyway, thanks for listening, everybody.
4.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Okay, draw.
And
that it?
speak to you again soon.
See you, thanks, bye.
Bye. So,
Bye. Bye.